How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Timberborn, and welcome back to Toothstone. We might have a little bit of a problem because at some point during the last episode, although I think it might have been cut out, there was a major flood of bad water into the colony. Pretty much all of the farms were covered in bad water. Pretty much all of this area was covered in bad water. It was really, really flooded. And unfortunately, that means that we now have 23 beavers that are unwell because they spent too much time in contaminated water. They're fine for now, but will get sick in a few days, which means we need to go into well-being and we need to unlock the herbalist, who will use paper, dandelions, and berries to make some medicine, to make an antidote for the contamination. So we need to unlock this pretty much right away, and we're gonna build it, I think, right about there. And as for the dandelions, those are gonna live right about here. And unfortunately, it's gonna be 6 days until we get anything from these. It's 3 days for them to grow. It's 3 days for them to flower. And so we're gonna be dealing with some sick beavers for, well, nearly a week. And that's not ideal. It's just kind of how things are right now. And I guess while we're on the topic of things that need paper, I want to come over this way and actually build another large warehouse. And I want to set this to be paper storage, because as it stands right now, we do have 20 in storage. It's going to be inside of the paper mill. I would like to start stockpiling it in the same way that we're stockpiling our planks, our gears, and our logs, because we will need it for construction. And so we will need a couple of double platforms just in here with a little path just like this. And so hopefully we can get that done, as well as the herbalist done, and hopefully all of these dandelions grown in, well, I would say not too long, but it is going to be 6 days. That's kind of just how it is. It's just how it works. It's gonna be 6 days. And so unfortunately, we're gonna be dealing with this, a little contaminated beaver. In fact, 23 contaminated beavers just running around for the next week. But we did have about 20 unemployed beavers when this all started, so we're not actually going to be missing out on too much work around here, which is very, very good news. The problem is that there's a few things that I sort of want to do before the next bad tide comes through, and that kind of involves coming over here, because I want to clear out this blockage, and I want to clear out this blockage as well, because I have a theory that if I was to build a bunch of big ol', floodgates in here, and then open that during a bad tide, close this one during a bad tide, and then just sort of let things happen, we would have all that bad water go around the colony rather than through the colony. So the way in which I think this is going to work is, how do I want to save materials here? I think I know exactly how I'm going to save materials. I am going to, I guess, build a little double platform here, a little single platform here, and then I want to do stairs and stairs. I want to do, let's see, landscaping. I want to get the triple floodgate and build, say, here? Or maybe here would be a better spot for the triple floodgate. We can then do some triple platforms. So if I ever want to get across here, I totally can. And we're going to need to just get rid of this one tree and build ourselves some stairs just here, and then connect all of this together and hope that this works, and hope that this does what I would want it to do. So we'll bring this kind of around here. That should all be okay. We will need to build some platforms down there, I think. And then what we can do is just set this to all be demolished. And if things work the way I want them to, well, actually, now that I think about it, we should probably prioritize the things that we want to do first, which would be these guys and these platforms, so that when we open this up, we don't just drain this lake completely right away. But this will hopefully work out. This will hopefully let us, redirect that bad tide. The only thing is, like I said, we need to clear this side too. So if we work back a little bit, we can do this. We can do some stairs, And over on this side, we can do... How do I want to go about this? I guess we do a platform, we can do some stairs, and we can kind of just connect this all together in a way that's hopefully going to actually work. That's the goal. I'm not too sure if it will, but we're going to find out. If I put that there, we can get down here, and it is technically connected to the district. So this might actually work. This might actually work, and this might actually happen, which is kind of nuts, all things considered. I'm really hoping I can pull this off. I'm really hoping this works, and I'm really hoping that once we get to automation, I can use that to make this happen, because all we can do, or what we could in theory do, is a contamination sensor. We build it here. It detects contamination. It says, hey, open this floodgate fully, close this floodgate, or maybe open it fully as well, close this one, and then open this one. I don't know if that's how automation works, but I'm really hoping it is. I love this as an idea, so I'm really hoping it works that way. Oh, I think we're getting rid of some of these blockages already. I wasn't expecting to be able to do it without having all of this stuff built down here, but we were, and I think we're about to clear this out. We absolutely are. We have one left, which I'm hoping it's cleared out today, but I have my doubts. I think this guy's about to go to bed, which is fine. It's totally okay. Obviously, we're not letting anything through here just yet because we do have the floodgates closed and we might as well keep them closed. We probably should go ahead and prioritize getting this all built and getting this all built as well. I'd like this to be done as quickly as we can possibly do it. I'm also keenly aware of the fact that, oh, this is coming along. Let's get this finished while we're here. And I've been thinking a little bit about other expansions to that storage area, because I've noticed here and there that my grist mills quite regularly are doing nothing because we don't have that much wheat flour storage. I mean, we have a bunch of tiny little warehouses here. We have 250 in storage, but these guys are just sitting doing nothing because of the simple fact that we don't have enough wheat flour storage. So I'm considering some expansions over here, and I'm just not too sure how I would go about doing that. Although, in saying that, I think I might have a method. Let me try a little something. So we would build this. Oh, is this gonna be too much? This might be too much. I think I can pull this off. I'm gonna go down here, and I'm gonna say that this is gonna be wheat, and this is gonna be wheat flour. I might regret this, but I'm gonna give it a shot, because the way I think we can get around there is with a little double platform here, a little double platform. Oh, if I was good with my spacing, I could probably get some little storage things up there as well. Let's do... Oh no, we're gonna have to mess about with this quite a bit, actually. Okay. I was hoping I could be kind of clever here, but apparently not. So double platforms there and there. We want a little single platform there. We're gonna do stairs and stairs and hope that this is all connected, which it is. We're coming up to here. We're coming over, and we're going out like this. At this point, we want more double platforms to get across there. We want double platforms that come down to here and go into that spot and that spot. And I guess that means I can also build another large warehouse on this side. And I could also build one out here if I really wanted to, which I'm not against doing because I, at this point, might as well. So a little double platform thing here with just a whole bunch of paths connecting all together. And that leaves me some room up here for decorations of some sort or another. I'm not really too sure what those are necessarily going to be, but we could go into decorations. We have roof pieces, we have scarecrows, we have weather vanes, which I guess we'll do a weather vane. That seems nice. It's a bit of a waste of science, but it's a nice little aesthetic boost to the area, so I don't see why not. Too far from a district. Oh no, we've got the stairs now. Yeah, let's do the little weather vane thing. I like that as a spot for it. We have a little beaver statue. We could build that as well. Although actually, this does remind me, I kind of want to look into monuments. So let's do, we don't have metal. We don't want a scarecrow up here. We could do a bench. It's a hell of a spot for a bench, but we could do a couple of benches up here if I really wanted to. Not entirely sure that it's necessary. Let's do a bench. Let's do, I guess, a couple of bushes, and we'll do a lantern because we can. This looks ridiculous, but I think it's going to be good. So we have our wheat. We have our wheat flour. I don't know what this is necessarily going to be. I really have no idea. I guess dandelions could go in here. That would be one option. Not that I'm suspecting we're going to have that many of them, but we could put those in here. Can we put medicine in here? It doesn't look like it. Okay, well, that's fine. We could eventually get into grilled chestnuts, but I guess we'll do dandelions, I suppose, because eventually we're going to fill up on medicine, which I think, by the way, yeah, we do have these growing, which is great. So we do have medicine production going, which means we should eventually end up with fewer sick beavers. And over here, what do I want this to be? What are we thinking? I mean, we are going to be doing books eventually, so maybe we just do books. We'll start filling this all up with paper. Eventually we'll do books so they can live up there and that'll be fine. That's a lot of storage. That's so much storage. Oh, and wouldn't you know, we have a bad tide on the way in 3 days' time. That's kind of perfect timing because we have this all getting cleared out down here. So we might actually be able to try this experiment. It's not going to be automated. Unfortunately, it's not going to be an automated thing, but we can certainly find out if this works. Once that is gone, if it's, how long are you really just getting started with that? Okay, that's fine. That's okay. We don't judge. Once that's gone, we can get rid of these platforms. Not that they're going to be interfering with the flow of water, but we don't need them. So I might as well just go out and get rid of all of this. And then we can get rid of the path because we don't need it. We can get rid of these stairs. We can get rid of that platform, that and that. And I'm gonna just experiment here. I'm kind of curious to see what happens. Let's, well, no, do I want to just test it in like a real scenario? Do I? I'm slightly tempted now. Also, this has been built, which is just amazing. I think we're just going to do it for real. I don't think I'm going to do a test run of this. I think we're just going to see what happens when I just try to make this happen, when I just try to redirect the bad tide sort of out and around my colony. Now, admittedly, it is going to mean this lake probably gets contaminated quite a bit. It does mean that my river will stop flowing and we could run the risk of draining that if the bad tide lasts forever. But I think we'll be okay. I think we can pull this off, and I think this is going to be really, really interesting. Although I will say, before we go all in on this, I actually want to come into this space and I want to build some levees. I want to go into well-being, and I want to get this thing, the Lido, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it allows for 7 beavers to chill and get wet fur, which is something that they do have a demand for. So that's going to help us a little bit with that particular aspect of well-being because it's not going particularly well. We do still have contamination problems, which is a bit of an issue. I have noticed here and there that we are managing to make some antidotes. I'm just noticing that none of them are really getting better. So I think what I'd like to do is go to my gatherer and say, I actually want you to prioritize the dandelions for the time being. I'd kind of like you to get as many of those as you can. So hopefully we can make as many antidotes as is possible. I'm sort of wondering if a second herbalist might be in order. I'm not entirely sure that it's necessary, but we're gonna see how that goes. I'm also curious, where do we actually store antidotes? Did I miss it in here? Am I blind by any chance? It doesn't look like it's in here. It might not be something that we store. Oh, it's going to be a tank thing, isn't it? Is it a tank thing? It is a tank thing. Okay. In that case, do I want to build another medium tank for antidotes? Is it worth it? That seems excessive, but also, I mean, I don't necessarily see why not. Or I could just do a bunch of small tanks. I think I'm just gonna. Like, what else am I gonna really use this space for right now anyway? So, sure, we'll build a medium tank. We'll set that to antidotes, and that'll be fine. I don't know if we need a second herbalist, but again, we'll see how that goes. The bad tide is due any second now, so let's let's try this. Man, let's give this a shot. Actually, I'm gonna wait for it to start flowing. I'm just gonna give this as long as I possibly can to see if this works, and I really, really hope it does. It's 0.0. Bad tide approaching. Bad tide is here. This is 2 bad tides in a row, apparently. Let's close these floodgates. Let's open these floodgates. Let's, I guess, open these floodgates as well, and we're going to open these floodgates too. And we're going to hope that this actually does what I want it to do. I mean, so far so good. That's promising. Obviously, the water has stopped flowing in my river, which checks out. We knew that would happen. I also realized that actually, no, the flow of water here, the way the water's flowing might keep the bad tide away from my crops. It's not gonna stop it here, unfortunately. This will all get a bit contaminated. And we do have it flowing down there as well. And actually up and over some of, oh wait, no, that is, yeah, that might be flooding a little bit in there. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. As long as this does what I want it to do, which I think it is. Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely flowing around. Oh, that's really cool. This actually sort of worked. As long, like I said, as long as it doesn't flood here, which it's not looking like it will, I think we might have pulled this off. I think I might have managed to redirect this so that we don't have contamination right in the middle here. We do want to close this floodgate just to make sure that we don't have contamination in here as well. And I think just to make sure that we have enough water, I'm going to drop this floodgate down to let some of that flow back, which again is fine. It's not the end of the world. That is oh yeah, no, we're super contaminated over here now. But again, we kind of knew that would happen, right? That's how this works. I don't love that. I don't love that we have a lot of crops that are dying. That's really unfortunate, but this is probably the better. How long do you die? So 14 days for the trees. Oh no, contamination will straight up kill them in a day. Ew. Okay. That makes things a lot more difficult. I didn't think about that. So, interesting. I mean, look, mission accomplished as far as not having that contamination run right through the middle of my colony, because 2 and a bit days of that would have killed all of my crops. Everything would be dead. Thus far, we've lost some sunflowers, which is a shame. And we've lost some trees. We've lost a lot of berry bushes, and we've lost all of my dandelions. So obviously not good, right? It's still pretty bad, but this could have been so much worse. Like, this could have been so much worse. Oh, never mind. It got worse. We now have no water in here. I mean, at least the crops, my wheat's gonna die, which is unfortunate. My sunflowers will be okay. My carrots will be okay, but my wheat is going to die. by the time we get water back through here. Because the thing with a bad tide is obviously, you know, it flows, right? So the bad tide can be over in 0.3 days. That doesn't mean it's going to clear out of here in 0.3 days. That's the problem with a bad tide, is it takes a minute to get out of here. Now, I'm sure there are other methods that I can employ here to get this to clear out a bit quicker. I could probably set up like a whole network of... Actually, yeah, if I was to do just a line of floodgates between like here and here, I could raise those when a bad tide comes through and stop it from getting right up against my crops. But that's a lot of work. And so I don't know that I'm going to do that just this instant. But as far as this experiment has gone, I mean, this is good, right? This worked. We managed to redirect it. I think we just need to, you know, honestly, what we need to do, we really need to get our hands on, where is it? The explosives factory. Because if we can get the explosives factory, we can use that to make this river deeper. And then we're just not going to run out of water at all, basically. We can just, you know, have super deep reserves of water. And I'm also realizing I think we need bad water for the explosives. If we have a look at this thing, it is requesting, what is that? Yeah, bad water. And we can make, so 5 bad water in 3 hours, we can make explosives. We also need power for this, but that's okay. We can then just make a bunch of dynamite and, you know, mine down a little bit into the river, which could be really, really interesting. Okay. So to get bad water, we just need a bad water pump, and then we would just need some tanks to store it. Huh. I hadn't considered this as a potential option. Now, the issue with mining bad water is that we kind of need a good source of it. We do have a source of it up here. We have a bunch of it in here, but that will probably evaporate. And so I guess my options are a little bit limited right now. I don't really think I'm going to be able to get another source of bad water, or a regular source of bad water, without essentially going and... I think we'd need to establish another district to make that happen so that we can actually get access to this, because then we can go and build something like a bad water rig. If we get the treated timber and the metal, we can build this on that thing and just every hour get 40 bad water, which is nuts. I guess the easiest way to do this right now is probably just going to be the bad water pump and wait for a bad tide. Anyway, I think most of the bad water is now gone. So what I'm going to do is open these floodgates to about 0.65. That should be enough to hopefully let this through once I go ahead and just close these floodgates completely. Now, we do have a little bit of contaminated water over here, which isn't good, but we can start just refilling this entire space. We can bring these guys down to about, say, 0.7 and see how that goes. We'll hopefully start having that flow through and help clear out that water as well. And I mean, like I said, all things considered, I think this was largely successful. We'll bring this up to maybe a 0.7, bring this up to about a 0.7 as well. And yeah, I think this sort of worked. It did. We did manage to... Oh, we're flooding again. That's not good. We did manage to do what I wanted to do here, which was redirect the bad tide. So, oh, you know what I'm realizing? I'm pretty sure this entire little channel here fills up with bad water whenever I don't redirect water through there. Do I smell an opportunity? I might have an opportunity here. This might work. This might be a terrible idea, but this might work. I would like to go through. Also, if I can get up here, this is a source of scrap metal, which is something we could really do with getting our hands on as well. Huh. How do we get scrap metal? We need a scavenger for that. Now, admittedly, the scavenger is gonna have a finite amount of scrap metal, but you know what? I think we put a scavenger right about there because we can get this. I think we want to mark all of these trees for demolition, but not the scrap, so that I can kind of clear out this space completely. I think I'd like to do a little path just here. And my real goal with this is going to be to build a bad water pump. I need metal for that. Actually, no, we can get metal for that. Oh my God, this might actually work. This might actually work. Oh, this might actually work. Okay, so basically I want 2 of these, which means I need to build some levees right here. I could also potentially get 3 of these, but I think 2 will be more than enough. I also think I want to get my hands on some storage for some scrap metal, and I don't think it needs to be one of these larger warehouses. I think we can get away with a medium. I also don't necessarily think I'm gonna put it on the roof of anything here. That might be just a little excessive. So maybe it can live right there for now, and that'll be okay. And that is where we're gonna be storing. Can I store scrap metal in here? Hold on a second. Maybe I can. Does it have to go in a pile? Is that a thing? It absolutely does. Okay, in that case, let's just put it over here, because I'm not really too sure what I'm going to be doing with it, and this area is not really arable anyway. So right about there should be fine. We will put scrap metal in that pile. We will try and turn it into metal because we need that, right? I'm determined to do this now. I want this bad water pump, so I need to make metal, which needs a smelter, which needs power. Oh man, I'm getting a little bit carried away here. I'm definitely getting a little bit carried away with this, but I feel like I'm onto something. I do. Where do I want to build a smelter? That's the real question. I am a little bit limited on space, unfortunately. So I'm kind of thinking down here is going to be the best spot for it. Like here, honestly, is probably about the best spot. So sure, we can build this. I don't even know what I wanted to do today. I had like some rough ideas in my head for what I could do in Timberborn today, but it's completely gone. I've genuinely completely forgotten what my original sort of idea was here, which is fine. I am going to have to build these extra water wheels, I think, just to make sure we have enough power for the smelter. So let me make these into top priorities. Let me make these into secondary priorities. And I guess we also need to make these platforms into top priorities as well, so that those actually get built. That way we can power the smelter, and that way we can do everything I want to do here. These should also be pretty high priorities, but admittedly we can't build anything on them until we have metal, which itself is also going to need some storage. So do I put metal in a medium warehouse, or does it go? I suppose it does not go in a medium warehouse. That's fine. It goes in a pile. In that case, I think it's also going to go over here, just simply because it's kind of, this is such like a temporary thing. I don't think we're going to have enough metal to do anything other than make explosives here, but I'm determined to do this because I really want to see if I can lower parts of this river and have just more water whenever a drought comes through. If I could lower a bunch of this area, that would be kind of amazing, because we can just double the depth that these guys are dealing with. That'd be so good. That'd be so good. Now, while we have all of that going on, I've decided that I'm going to clear out all of these little warehouses over here, because we did build some large warehouses over in the storage area for our wheat and our wheat flour. It's not the worst thing in the world to have it sitting around here. I just figure we can sort of tidy this space up a little bit, make it look just a little bit better, and I don't know, put some decorations over here, make my beavers a little bit happier. They've had a pretty rough time of it lately, so I don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world to just make things a little a little better for them if we clear all of that out. Can we get this one emptied as well? What are we looking at in here? 22. Anyone coming along to grab any more of it? 14 and 0. Perfect. Okay. Are these ones empty as well? They absolutely are. So we'll clear this out, and clear this out. We could probably look at building one of the bigger wind turbines as well. But for now, I think what I'd like to do is just go to decorations, and we could do like a scarecrow because we're near some farms. I think that could be kind of fun to have a little scarecrow right here. We could do we have any other room for scarecrows around here? Can I put one here? I totally can. Yeah, we'll do a little scarecrow right there. That seems nice, I suppose. And we could do some benches. Just let them have a little bit of a sit down. We will have some metal, so I could do a bulletin pole, but I feel like it should be more central since it's like, I don't know, it's such a big area of effect on it. It kind of makes sense that it would be more central. Maybe just a lantern here to sort of decorate that space, and that'll be okay. And I guess we could also look at monuments, because I can't help but notice that this one just needs 200 logs. And I mean, it looks really cool. It does look really, really cool. I don't know where I'd build it though, is the problem. I don't know about this one. I mean, it would look good on top of like a house, I think. So, I mean, maybe I clear out some of these, like if I got rid of these rooftop terraces, I could put it in here, but that might look a bit weird. I could just put it in this space. I could, because most of my beavers sort of come out of this area anyway. So we could build this. It is going to give us a bit of ore within 7 tiles. Yeah. This is also our farming area too. So I think it kind of makes sense that we would have it like right there. I'm going to build it. I'm going to build it. Yeah. I like that. I think that's going to be pretty good. I think that's kind of a cool place for it. We can do some little benches on either side of it, just like this. We could do, oh man, I've gotten into the detailing and decoration side of things now, haven't I? Oh man, I don't think I want to do too many fences around here. I do like the hedges. Those are pretty cool. I like the idea of some lanterns here at the front. I like the idea of some shrubs in the corners. And I guess we'll do some lanterns at the back as well and kind of leave the rest of it open. And that looks okay. I'm now kind of wanting terrain paint. I'm not going to lie. I kind of wish I could get like the terrain or the surfaces tool from City Skylines 2 and just make this all into like a beautiful little park area. But I mean, obviously we don't have that technology in Timberborn, so that's fine. It'd be good if we did, but we don't. Now, how are we looking for power down here? We're looking pretty decent. We're going to have some more coming through shortly. We could probably get the smelter up and going because we do have a decent amount of scrap sitting around here now. We haven't built these yet, which is all right. But can I prioritize this? I totally can. That's probably out of range as well. So let's just bring this. Man, I think this is actually going to work. I really do think I'm going to be able to do this. Let's get the bad water pump. We need to unlock it. And then we can go here. We can go here. And that's going to be great. That's going to be so good. It looks so stupid, but it's going to be so good. I will need storage for it though. I mean, we have antidote storage here. We still have 13 contaminated beavers. Where do I want to store bad water around here? I'm kind of liking the idea of just up here, just to make a statement that we've conquered the the bad water. I think that's kind of cool. We'll do exactly that. I don't think we're gonna need 2 tanks for this, but just to fill up the space, we're gonna have 2 of them. Oh my God, there's another one. Oh no, that's 3 in a row. Oh, I just want a drought. Just give me a drought. Oh no. Oh, it's actually really bad. Oh, I mean, look, here's the thing. We survived it last time. We can redirect it again this time. I just... Why? Why 3 in a row? What did I do to deserve this? Oh, no. That's really, really bad. Oh, man. This is going to be rough. This is going to be rough. Let's get this smelter up and going, please, because we kind of need it. Power generation here is looking solid, which is great. We are pushing a little bit more water through here because I'm building some levees to make sure that the water kind of channels right through there. I might even go so far as building the levees out a little bit further just to make this channel even more narrow. But I want to get the smelter up and going so that we can start making some metal, so that we can start to get all of this built, because I want to make explosives. This whole bad tide situation, the fact that we've had 3 in a row now, really has me, it really has me in a spot where I'm quite confident in my need for explosives, which is an interesting sentence, but it's true. I think we need them. We can also build this right next to the metals factory, so I think that's exactly what we're gonna do. We'll go and mark these resources here for demolition. We'll mark this for demolition. I might actually just mark all of these berries here to be removed because we're not harvesting them anyway. We do have all these berry bushes out here that, by the looks of it, never got a chance to properly regrow after the last bad tide. So that's great. I love that. I love that. That makes me so happy that I didn't get an opportunity to regrow those berries. We do still have a ton of food. We do still have a ton of water. We have a bunch of like wheat flour ready to be turned into bread, which tells me that I need more bread storage space, which is wild. That's absolutely nuts that we need more bread storage space. I guess what we'll do, since this is all bread, is, and we're not going to be doing books for a while, we'll do dandelions here. And we will just do more bread storage here. And that should mean that my grist mills and my bakery keep going, which is exactly what we want. And I think I'd also like to go into landscaping. I'd like to get my explosives factory, please. And it's going to live right about there, which is a lot of science points, but that's fine. We're going to need metal gears and... I said metal gear and instantly my brain's like, metal gear. But yes, we need metal, gears, and planks for this. And then from there, we can make explosives. And I think each one of these has to be placed where I want to dig down. So that's going to be a whole thing. But that's okay. What's also interesting is that we do have a wheat harvest going on right now. So actually, can I get you guys to prioritize the wheat? And you guys to prioritize the wheat? And you guys to prioritize the wheat, and maybe you guys to prioritize the potatoes, so that hopefully we can get our hands on as much of this as possible before this bad tide comes through. Because if we can do this, I mean, look, we're not really going to have trouble with the bad tide. I'm just annoyed. I'm just annoyed that there's 3 in a row. That's all. That's that's where I'm at with this. Let's open the floodgates. Let the water out. Let's close these floodgates and redirect the water. We are going to be diluting the water in here, unfortunately, so we're not getting any bad water just yet. These guys, you know what? I'm going to close that one and I'm going to open this one and see if I can direct most of the bad tide kind of down through here without it coming through. I want to see how this works, because we did have this one closed before and we did manage to direct most of it out and around. So that might work for us. This is going to be closed up. This is going to be left open, which is fine. And we're just going to hope for the best. That's all we can do, is hope for the best. Now, unfortunately, my plan hasn't really worked out. As it stands right now, this is contaminated enough that we are losing the dandelions again. I don't love that. It does look like we're kind of holding this back a little bit, so we're not losing these berries yet. We very much might. That is a definite possibility that we might lose those berries. But I'm kind of looking at this and thinking if... And this is more of a, if I get another district and I get rid of this blockage right here and I put a dam here, I could basically send this bad tide through that channel instead of this one and then save all my crops in this space. So that's something I might want to end up doing. Thankfully, it's less than a day and a half left on this bad tide. We're also building these bad water pumps, hopefully soon. So we have options. Again, you know, 3 bad tides in a row is rough, but we'll be okay. We also, I don't think we have no more sick beavers, which is great. We have 25 beavers without jobs, which is not good, but none of them are sick. So that's nice. Anyway, it is the end of the bad tide. So let's assess the damage. We didn't lose all of our berries. This area did manage to hold the tide back a little bit and maintain just enough water that these didn't all die. That's good. That is some pretty solid progress. We are most likely going to lose all of our carrots because I'm not willing to let this water through here just yet. We have lost all of the wheat, which kind of sucks. Obviously, we lost a lot of our oak. We lost all of our dandelions. We did lose some blueberries. But for the most part, this wasn't as bad as the last one. And I don't know if that's saying much, but it wasn't as bad as the last one. I will open this up though. We will try and let this water now flow through and start pushing the bad water out. Although looking at it, I might have made a mistake here because it looks like this is now starting to dry all that out, which kind of sucks. But if we can drain this out, that'll be great. If we could start to clear just all of this out, that would be kind of fantastic. I don't know that I want to open this yet. That seems like it could be a really bad idea, given that there's still a fair bit of contaminated water in there. But all things considered, I mean, we survived a 3rd bad tide in a row. I think there's something to be said about that. I think that's kind of neat, and I'm kind of happy about that. Also, I'm realizing there's no contamination on the ground here anymore, so it might actually be safe for me to open this. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm gonna, just because we kind of need the water to start flowing through here again. I guess, how high is the water on this side? Yeah, we can probably pull this off. Let's bring this down to about a 0.7, and that should be fine. Let's keep you, let's get you to a 0.7 as well, just so we don't have everything flow straight through. And then you're going to come down to a 0.65, which should be all right. And then these guys are just going to close. We're just going to sort of cut that off, let this flow through. We might have some issues with some of the bad water through here, but I'm hoping once it continues to flow, which it is, and once it continues to flow through there, it's gonna help push the bad water out of there, and that's sort of what we're looking for. These guys over here, we're gonna move you to about a 0.7 as well. I'm gonna move you to about a 0.7, and we can kind of just, I mean, it's not bad water. We haven't flooded the place with bad water, so that's actually probably okay. We've also just got a well-being high score of 18, which is kind of wild. I think that might be because this thing got built, which is great. So don't mind if I do. Yeah, the farmer monument's doing quite a bit for us. The Lido is doing quite a bit for us as well, which I love. That's kind of cool. How are we looking up here? Wet fur is still not something they're thrilled about. So you know what I'm going to do for wet fur? We're going to mark this for demolition. I'd like to prioritize that. Looks like we have a bit more flooding going on, which is whatever. But if we can prioritize clearing this out, I can just put another 3 little showers on that spot. We just got to 19 as well. Oh my God. Okay. I think, oh, he's managed to turn things around just a little bit. That's great. Very, very happy about that. Can we build these? We are starting to bring stuff out to them. Good. Okay. I'm feeling, oh my, we did just hit 20 briefly. Oh my God. Okay. Wet fur is looking much better. The campfires, something people kind of want more of. The scarecrow's doing some work for us. Again, that thing's doing some work for us. We could probably put more scarecrows around here. I don't know if we need to, but we could. Okay, so let's get these 3 new showers into this space. I've also decided to clear out these berries, like I mentioned earlier, and I think I'm actually going to replace these with some dandelions, which annoyingly does mean I need a forester out here. Now that's the tricky part. Do I want to put a forester out here? I don't know that I necessarily do. The problem is this is a decent enough spot. It does get irrigated from over here, so it does have the potential of getting, no, it would get contaminated, wouldn't it? What if we have a lot of sunflower seeds. What if we just turn this little spot, like this little area along the river, we could turn all of those into dandelions. We'd have a few fewer sunflower seeds, but that might be worth it as far as trade-offs go. I'm not too sure that we're going to need all this much in the way of antidotes and treatment for contamination, because I'm not really planning on flooding the place with contaminated water again, but I feel like it could be worthwhile to have a bunch of dandelions and then a bunch of antidotes just in storage here. So that's kind of where I'm at with this, and that's kind of what I'm thinking with this. We also have these guys up and running, which is amazing. I kind of love that. We have a bunch of bad water in storage now, which means we're not too far away from being able to make the explosives factory, which again is certainly a sentence. And I realize once again, I still need a forester to plant these. Now, do I want to do this? I guess what we can do is a bunch of them there, a bunch of them there, and a bunch of them here. We can do a bunch of them over here as well, and sort of back this way, and just sort of a little bit like this. And I think we can then just build a forester. Since we have a bunch of beavers that aren't doing anything, we can build a forester here. And that means that all of those dandelions can be tended to by this forester. And I think that's going to be a good thing. I think that'll work out really well for us. And you know, I've also realized that we are really, really low on logs, because of course we are. We're using logs for just about everything. So much of our production is using logs right now. We have to make, I mean, let's have a look here. So we use logs in construction, but we also use logs to make planks. We use planks to make gears. So by extension, we use logs to make gears. We are also using logs to make paper. And so, yeah, my log production being quite low checks out. that actually makes quite a bit of sense. We do, however, have some bad water in storage over here, which I absolutely adore. We're going to be able to get a bunch of that from these 2 pumps over here. And so once the explosives factory is up and going, and also once the forester is up and going, I guess, once all of this is up and going, we can start making explosives, so we can hopefully make this river a bit deeper. And all things considered, I think I'm quite happy with, I mean, it doesn't feel like we've done too much here today, because I guess, you know, there's no like big picture changes in the way that there were in the last episode with this whole thing. But I think surviving 3 bad tides in a row, getting our well-being up to 18, 19, 20-ish, that's pretty solid. That's pretty good. Let's have you making explosives, please. That's what we're going to be looking for. I don't remember where they get stored. Do they go into a pile? That doesn't seem safe. That doesn't seem right. Do we put explosives into a warehouse? We do, actually. We do put explosives into a warehouse. What do we use to make explosives? It is just, oh, so it is just bad water. Okay. In that case, I mean, I don't necessarily see us needing, do we want to, yeah, we'll store dandelion, I guess. It probably makes sense to store a good amount of dandelions just for future thing. I mean, look, the dandelion thing, we're not going to store it until we have filled this tank with antidotes, so it's going to be a while. But, and by the way, this also consumes paper, both of these, so that's another source of like consumption for for logs. It's ridiculous. I want to make a storage area for explosives is my thinking. But I'm keenly aware of the fact that to make one of these, we need 60 logs, and we don't have that right now. We are starting to see some of these oak trees grow, though, so I guess that's gonna... Actually, no, that's not gonna turn around, because those logs are just gonna get consumed pretty much instantly. Oh, man. I didn't think about this. Maybe... Do I want to do a large warehouse or a medium warehouse? I kind of want to do a large warehouse of explosives, but I don't think I'm ever going to need 1,200 explosives. So I think we stick with the medium one. I think that makes a fair bit more sense, I think. I could also build it here if I built some platforms, but that seems completely unnecessary. Okay. For now, we'll build it over there. Just sort of nearby the factory. Also, we have 5 explosives in here now. Can I use them? Can I figure out how these work? I don't think I've ever used explosives in Timberborn before. So, yeah. Let's see what this can do. I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be fine. So those are not working anymore. And that's all right. How do we get down there to place the explosives? Do I need stairs? I feel like we might. So we'll build some stairs. I was going to move to wrap things up here shortly. And I still might, admittedly. But I'd like to see if we can get some logs for these stairs, that is. If I can, if I can just blow up the base of this river. Oh, good. There's a drought coming. I can deal with that. That's not a problem. That's good. That's not another bad tide. I can happily deal with a drought. Now, how do we get those explosives down there? Oh, you just swim. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's doing his best. I don't know if he actually did it. I actually have no, oh no, they are. Oh my God, I didn't know they could work in the water. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I love that. Oh, I do. I'm a little nervous about setting off these explosives because it might destroy my water pumps, but you know what? Detonate. How does it? Ooh, oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. Right. So that is, good. That's very good. That means, I mean, yes, we're flooding the place a little bit because we have just messed with the bed of the river, but, oh, I should not have been given dynamite. I should not have been given this. What's a contamination barrier? It stops soil contamination from spreading beneath it. Wait, what? Uses metal. What is this thing? So is this a thing I can like put on the dirt to block contamination? That would be really useful along this coastline. We need metal for it and quite a few planks, so not right now, but I'm gonna keep that in mind. Anyway, I want to place more explosives. This is gonna be a disaster. But I want to place all of those, is what I want to do. And I would like to do the same thing just about here. And, yeah, that'll be all right. we need a lot of explosives for this, but if I can place all of those, then we will have a lot more water in here when the drought comes through, and that's good. That's that's the idea. Oh wow, we've got this first set done right here. That's fantastic news. Let me detonate. That's never gonna get old. That is never gonna get old. I am going to enjoy that for quite a while. Oh man, I really like that. I'm not too sure if these are maybe out of range. Yeah, they kind of are. Okay. In that case, I think we need to do more stairs just over here. And that'll let my beavers get down to the rest of those explosives, which is what we need. We have 4 of them in storage right now. I mean, even this, honestly, like this effectively sort of doubles-ish the amount of water that's stored kind of in here, right? So that alone is kind of huge. And the fact that we just need bad water to make this happen is also kind of huge. Also, the drought coming through is a bit of a problem. Let me close this floodgate. Let me open this one for a second just to see if anything comes through, which it doesn't. So we're going to close you and we're going to close you. We are also going to close you and we're going to close you. So that way, whatever my water level, is this all? Oh no, those are flags. Okay, I was really, I didn't realize it was like a little minesweeper thing. That's great. Yeah, well, hopefully it's a 6-day drought. So hopefully most of this water sticks around, which would be great because it means that we can, you know, keep all of the dandelion going. We can keep making antidotes and everything that we need to do. Our power production is going to go to pretty much nothing, which is all right. So that does mean that we're not going to be making all that much in the way of explosives, which sucks. Although I could, because we have got paper, I could get my hands on the large wind turbine, which is certainly a viable option. Too far from a district to build it there. What if I was to like get rid of this little pile? Can I build it here? I totally can. I like that. It also doesn't use logs, which is kind of a big deal. So we'll build it there. We could try building another one back here if I really wanted to. I'm pretty sure it's probably not going to work. But what about back there? No, it's being blocked as well. I'd have to build it like there, which wouldn't be the end of the world if I had to do that, but I'd prefer not to. And there we go. We have a large wind turbine or windmill, whatever we want to call it. It's not doing anything right now, but if and when it does, it can generate up to 300 horsepower, which is more than enough to get all these factories going. So that would be, there we go. All right, we're making explosives again. That's okay. That's what we want. And you know what? I think we're going to get rid of this wind turbine, and I think we're going to replace it with the large wind turbine as well. I think that's probably for the best. I would also like to get the gravity battery because it will store surplus power and give it back when the network is underpowered. The higher you build this, the more power it stores. Essentially, you build this thing, it's a big brick, right? So you build it here and it like raises that battery thing up. And I think basically it lowers it down slowly, and if it's up here, it's, you know, got a lot of power that it can output whenever the network is low on power. It does need metal, it does need gears, it does need planks. We do have the materials for it, but I'm gonna hold off for now because I don't think times are that desperate. We're getting there. We definitely need power, but we're not. Wait, how is this empty already? I just I just noticed. Okay, that's bad. Do I want to open this and like let that water through then? Is that worth doing? I honestly don't know. I mean, it's not like we're short on water. We're doing fine. It's my crops I'm worried. Oh, they're already dead. Okay, well, that's great. Yeah, my potatoes are dead too, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Anyway, the drought is over. We are now in cycle 13, which makes me feel a little bit self-conscious because I've seen some people playing this, and by like cycle 10, they are super, super advanced, and obviously I'm not. But I also mess around a lot, so I think that kind of explains why I feel like I'm a little bit behind. In saying that, now that we're getting metal, we could make some zipline stuff. That could be interesting. That could be really fun to kind of play around with those a little bit. I'm really not sure how they work, but could be interesting. Once again, we have the tradition of flooding everything when I when I let the water back through. This is I mean, look, again, it's not bad water, so it's not good, but it's, there we go, that's better. Anyway, we now find ourselves in a spot where all of the dynamite has been placed, so let's detonate and clear out this entire space, which is gonna make all of those water pumps work again, and it gives us just that little bit more water capacity in there, which I absolutely love. Now, I will say, I kind of do want to clear out a whole bunch more of this river, but I think I'm just gonna let the dynamite sort of get thrown into storage for the time being. I'm not gonna clear it out until I have enough dynamite to clear out about 100 tiles of it at a time, because it's really annoying sitting around and waiting for it to happen. So I'm just gonna sit around and wait for the dynamite to stockpile. I can do some other things while that happens, but this should mean that any lengthy droughts are a little bit easier to deal with. It should mean that we have a little bit of extra water in here if a bad tide happens to come through, and it should mean that we hopefully don't have everything dry out quite as quickly. We are, I will admit, a little bit low on water right now, but that is largely because most of these pumps weren't working for the longest time. They are now because, again, they had dynamite underneath them. So it's kind of understandable that the guys that work the pumps might not have wanted to work the pumps when the pumps would have been pumping dynamite. So, you know, it's okay. We will get all these tanks filled up again. We have almost filled up 2 tanks with bad water, and we've almost filled up a tank with antidotes as well. So that should mean that it's not too long until we start seeing dandelions get thrown into this warehouse. We should see a decent little supply of explosives getting thrown into this warehouse. We have almost filled this place with metal blocks, and so hopefully whatever's left from the ruins here will get thrown into this pile as well. Obviously, we have some guys down here getting a bunch of bad water for those tanks, and all things considered, I'm really happy with where we are. I think this has come along really nicely. I think we have a fantastic little district here. It's self-sufficient. It's doing its thing. I'm really pleased with this. But there is still plenty to do. We have to get the zip lines. We can get robots. We can do all sorts of things. And to do a lot of that, we are going to need to get some other districts on the go. We are going to need to start sending beavers to and from those districts and, you know, exchanging resources between them. So there is still so much more to do in Timberborn, and I'm looking forward to getting around to all of that. But that is going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure, as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.